Welcome, everybody, to Circle Back to You. I'm your host, Jason Wilson. Today, I have Kenneth Nel. And Kenneth and I met on LinkedIn a year ago, and he's new on our show. Welcome to the show, Kenneth.
Jason, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's taken a year for us to actually get around to doing this. I'm super excited to have the chat.
Kenneth is known as the digital coach, and he actually helped me with my own LinkedIn profile a year ago. So I'm grateful to him, grateful to have him here. Kenneth, take it away.
Thanks, Jason. So what I want to talk about today is something that I discovered recently, and I think it's probably going to blow a lot of people's minds. It's a different thinking, a different type of, it's sort of a paradigm shift. Can you imagine having Google pay for your marketing completely, hands down? There's a bit of an investment on your side, but once that's done, all your marketing is paid for by Google every single month. I talk to a lot of companies daily because I do a lot of interviews, I do a lot of LinkedIn audits to help people find ways to generate new business. And their challenge, without fail, is yes, we understand the tech, but the reality is, where do we find the money? Money is a challenge. And doesn't matter where in the world, building a business needs money. The thing with a marketing budget is it's always the first thing to be cut, and it's the last thing to be increased. So you need to create visibility. You need to create a pipeline full of leads. But to do that takes advertising dollars. So having had a chat with you recently, you broke my brain. We had this really amazing conversation. And I loved what you put forward and the way you presented it, because I'd never thought about the fact that I could get Google to pay for all my advertising. It was just never a thought that crossed my head. And maybe it's a thought that's crossed a lot of your viewers' heads in the past, but just in case it hasn't, think of this way. You've watched YouTube. I've watched YouTube. We watch YouTube all the time. We hear about the YouTube millionaires, the YouTubers who are making millions. They do a show and they make millions. But in the back of our head, we're kind of going, how? How do they get there? What are the minimum requirements? And after our chat, the minimum requirements aren't that onerous if done correctly. They are difficult if you don't know what they are, because half the problem in winning the battle is if you don't know what you're fighting for. And finding out that you need 1,000 subscribers so that you get into that bracket where Google now recognizes you, and then having 4,000 hours of viewing time, meaning if I've got videos up and loaded, but I've had my viewers watch the equivalent of 4,000 hours, Google will now start paying me 1 cent to 3 cents, give or take, per 1,000 views. So if I could get 500,000 views in a month, so in any given 30-day period, I would then earn $5,000. The problem is, how do you get to 1,000 subscribers? Most people will use traditional, they'll blare it all over their social media network and hope they'll get subscribers. There is a strategy, there is a tactic. I believe that's what you do, and you help guys get there, and I think that's amazing. I mean, the fact that you've got a guarantee in marketing. Okay, most people don't put a guarantee anywhere near the word marketing. You've kind of been bold enough to get in there and say, I guarantee you 1,000 subscribers in 90 days. And if I don't get you there in 90 days, I'll keep working until I get you there. And if you break that 1,000 subscribers and in 3 months later, you break the 4,000 hours worth of views, let's say you charge hypothetically $2,500 a month for that service. But by month 9, you're earning $5,000. It'll take 3 more months to break even with your investment. If don't hold me to my maths, but it's kind of there. Thereafter, you could be making $2,500 a month. That's assuming your views don't go up. We're saying we keep getting more views. So you could potentially keep paying you that 2.5 grand, and I'm going to keep the difference, which could be 2.5, could be 3.5, could go up to 4.5, could come down to 2.5 again. I mean, it depends on the quality of the content. But seriously, there are a lot of people who want to know what you know, what I know. I mean, I work on the basis in my world of 25% of people, doesn't matter what you do, they're not going to like you. Okay. 25% of people are kind of leaning to not liking you, but they want to see you do something, and then they're not going to like you. So that's half of everybody on the planet written off. Then there's 25% of people who kind of are leaning to like you, but you need to do something to impress them. That sounds like a lot of hard work. But then there's 25% that love you no matter what you do. They'll follow you no matter what you do, as long as you are true, authentic, and adding value. If I take LinkedIn, 970 million plus people, 25% of 970 million people, that's 200 million people, give or take. I'm taking 90 and 90 and sort of rounding it up. 200 million people that would like me no matter what I did. I don't need 200 million people. I mean, I don't think there's a business in the world that needs 200 million fans. Okay, nobody's going to complain about it. But the guys like PewDiePie, I mean, 65 million people follow him. Then you've got the Sidemen. You've got all these YouTubers that have got viewers, followers, subscribers, but their views, every time they run a video, they get 2.5 million views. So you get 2.5 million views on a video, one video, you got 25 grand. I looked at on TV the other night, there was a museum down the road from us, and they make £2.5 million a year off their YouTube channel. It's a museum. In fairness, how exciting is a museum? Okay, some museums are really exciting. Let's go with that. Like the Smithsonian, the Air Museum, the Museum of Natural History. Sure, I can get that, but that's a lot of money. Can you imagine getting even half of that every month or every year? Of, let's say you $2.5 million a year. Let's say you get $1 million a year just from your YouTube channel for your advertising, for your business. It's like a no-brainer. Your marketing strategy is always a case of sell, 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 give me money, sell, 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 give me money, sell, sell, sell. How about your marketing strategy goes, invest 2.5 grand, month one, invest 2.5 grand, month two, you've spent 5 grand. Month three, you've now spent 7.5 grand, but you've got 1,000 subscribers. Another 7.5 grand, that's month six, you're at 15 grand as an investment. You now hit your 4,000 hours. Now you're spending 1.5 grand because in month 7, you earn $1,000. In month 8, you earn $1,500 or $2,000. So you kind of break even. Month 9, you go up to 3.5, 4 grand. You've now got that money coming back at you. So the correct math would be to say, okay, I've still got to pay 2.5 grand to keep the service going. I made $1,500. Okay. $1,500 for marketing on a return of 15,000. That's a 10% return in month one. Cumulative, month two, you're now going to go up to maybe 5 grand. And you start paying off the investment. I'm not an actuarial guy or an accountant, but the maths make some simple sense to me. By a year, I've invested in 2 things. I've invested in a passive income generator while spreading my brand. Because that's the other thing, is every time I do a YouTube clip and I distribute it, you cut it, slice it, and dice it, and it goes to TikTok, it goes to Instagram Reels, it goes to Facebook, it goes to YouTube Shorts, it goes to the full YouTube clip, it goes onto LinkedIn. So I'm promoting my brand every time I do something. And while I'm doing that, I'm creating interest, I'm creating excitement. Yeah, I may pick up some clients if I'm a solopreneur, but at the end of the year, I'm now generating revenue that may turn my side hustle, as in my YouTube channel, into my main hustle, which is not the idea. But it probably would happen for some people. But the reality is, I've now got a consistent flow of money to pay on Google AdWords for search, to pay on advertising material, to pay on billboards. Doesn't matter. You've got cash. And cash for advertising means you can go to an agency and say, I've got a budget of 100 grand this year. And not worry that 100 grand doesn't come out of your pocket, because it's not. It's free money. Okay, so you've done the investment, you've done the 15 grand. But running a business is not a short-term sprint. You don't build a business in 6 months and then go, hey, I'm rich. We've all heard the story of people going, overnight successes take 15 years. So take 1 year, invest that in growing a YouTube channel that generates money. Dude, you blew my mind with that. That's kind of like that. That's, I don't want to say too many things and spread the message too wide and far. That blew my mind, because it makes perfect sense. Well, you would know it makes perfect sense because it's what you do, right?
This is the beauty of collaboration, ladies and gentlemen, on LinkedIn. I mean, what you do on your end, Kenneth, is phenomenal. But collaborating on something like this is much more powerful. It's smarter, and it's a blessing not only for your clients, but it also blesses you in return.
As they say, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Collaboration does do that. And I mean, I connected with you on LinkedIn because I liked your profile, and I was like, hey, you got 8,000 followers. Why don't I just reach out and see? Because I mean, a year ago, I wasn't quite where I am today on LinkedIn. And we had a chat and things happened. I have another client of mine that I connected with her 3 years ago. 6 months ago, she became a client. So what's 12 months in the span of building a business? But 12 months is an investment to make sure that you're always going to have cash to invest in marketing. And yes, I know you're going to do this, but don't do it. But I know you're going to. In December, when you decide sales are tight, things are tough, you're going to pull out of your marketing budget. Don't. Keep feeding that budget. You know what I mean, right? Don't kill the golden goose. Because as long as you leave that goose, take that egg every month, feed the right thing. Okay, maybe take 10% of it and put that in your pocket. Enjoy it. Buy yourself a Christmas present, pay some bonuses. But don't kill the goose. That's my opinion. We'll be back with more digital strategies that convert into money. And we're going to cover things from LinkedIn, SEO. I mean, you do websites, you do SEO, I do LinkedIn. I've spent over a decade working on SEO. So there are a lot of things that LinkedIn have now done that enhance my SEO. And people don't even know. They don't even know that if you put an article on LinkedIn, there's an SEO tab where you can backlink to your articles on your website. They don't use anchor text in their articles on LinkedIn. And I sit there going, but why? It's free. It's free link juice. Why don't you use it? Because LinkedIn's a great platform, and LinkedIn carries a lot of link juice. So every time you do an article, you link it back to your website. Google goes, hey, social media is voting for your website in a good way. Sorry, I'm going to get started again. So no, I'm going to leave it there. Come back next week. You'll enjoy it, I promise.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenneth Nel. You can find him on LinkedIn at the information here on our screen. Take care.